Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I don't have the ring light on just because it does that glare thing and it annoys the shit out of me. But this is our new house. I've moved since I've done a video, I think, right? And here's my daughter's Barbies and other dolls. So welcome to our new house. I don't know if I'll ever do a house tour, maybe eventually. I'm going to talk about the books I've read recently, mostly audiobooks. There's only been how many have I read? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books since the beginning of October. So the last video I did must have been right before that. So only one of them has been physical, and I've been reading it for the longest time. It's been really hard to get to physical reading with my daughter around, but now she goes to preschool and it's an all-day thing, and I work evenings, so I kind of have time during the day to like read a little bit, even though I feel like there's still so much to do around the house that I just feel like I have to like get stuff done. I feel like this place is a mess constantly because of still moving stuff in. Anyways, the rest were audiobooks. I've been an audiobook freak, going to and from work. Like when I go to work, sometimes I'm there like 15 minutes early and I sit in the parking lot and just listen. And so it's been like really quick, or we've gone on road trips and listened to stuff. My husband doesn't really care about listening to them. He doesn't pay attention half the time, but he did listen to one of them because it was a story he's kind of heard before. So let's just get right into it. I don't know if I've talked about Razorblade Tears before. I gave it a 4.5 stars. It's by S.A. Cosby. So that one was really good. It's like a thriller, but it's also like, I don't know how to describe it. It kind of reminds me of, what's that one show on HBO with Matthew McConaughey? Kind of reminds me, I feel like Razorblade Tears could be a movie. Just the way it's written and everything. It's about these two men, one white, one black. Their sons were in a gay relationship together and their sons were killed. And these two dads come together. Somehow they kind of come to an agreement. They end up building kind of a relationship too. Not in that way, but it's just crazy. They're both kind of homophobes and stuff as well, but they didn't really talk to their sons too much. But the whole story is great. They kind of try to figure out, they don't trust police. The police haven't really been handling like how their sons were killed and stuff. So it's this whole thing of them trying to find who killed their son and everything. So it's a really great story. Lots of good conversations in it. I highly recommend reading it. I wonder if they would make it a movie. The audiobook was read really well by this man. I don't even know his name. I think a lot of these were read really well. The next one was In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park. I think that's how you say it, Yeonmi Park. It's a true story, a memoir. She wrote this book and I listened to the audiobook. It wasn't her talking, but it's about her escape from North Korea and now I think she lives in the US now. So you kind of already know that going into it, but it's just her escape. The half of the book I want to say is like in North Korea, and the rest is like telling everything else going on, and it's some crazy ass shit that's happened to her and her family, and you really learn more about North Korea and how bad it is. And I follow her on Instagram now, and I think she's great, and I think she has a YouTube channel. She puts a lot of things up about good points and how America with certain things, especially media and stuff, could be turning in that direction of a North Korea, not to that extent, but she's trying to compare like certain things going on. Good book, audiobook, or I guess read it, either one. I highly recommend that one. The next one was Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. This one I originally gave it 4 stars, but when I'm thinking about it, I think it's a 3-star. I think the twists were really unnecessary. There was maybe some here and there that were like fine, but like I guess like the big main one I feel like was so unnecessary. I hate it when it's like, if there's any books that are like that, I hope somebody could tell me not to read that book, because if it had a twist like similar to that, I'd be freaking pissed. It's just an unnecessary way to mess with the reader. Like, oh, hey, by the way, here's this twist that I'm just going to throw in there just to make, because I made you think this way. So now, oh, here, this is what really was going on. It was so unnecessary. And it just bugged me. That's what bugged me. But the narration on the audiobook was amazing. It was these two actors, one for the male narrator and one for the female narrator. They did amazing. I really liked the male's voice. And he actually, I forgot his name, but he was actually on the Hobbit movies. But man, that was probably one of my favorite audiobooks, even though I didn't care for the story, but their performances were great. The next one was The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I gave that 4 stars. He wrote The Silent Patient, which was, did I read that? I read that last year, and I did not care for that one. I think I gave that one 3 stars. I can't remember exactly what I gave it, but I didn't really care for the twist. I feel like, I mean, it was better than freaking rock, paper, scissors twist, but like, I don't know, it was just, whatever. But The Maidens I liked a little bit more. It really intrigued me. It's about a woman who is like a counselor or therapist, and her husband is dead, and they don't have any kids, but they adopted her niece from, I guess, like her brother or sister passed or whatever. And so her and her husband, who when he was alive, they took care of her growing up, and now she's in college, and there was like a murder of a friend at that college, so she calls her aunt to go over there to just be there with her or help her or whatever, and she ends up wanting to like investigate as well, and there's some sketchy shit going on. It's like a dark academia thing because it's at this college, and but you don't really know until the very end. I guess some people can probably see it. I did notice some things, but I didn't really think it was going to be this. So, but yeah, I think it was pretty good. And then this next one is How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. I really thought this was going to be a good one just because I like the title. They had to put Keanu Reeves' name in there, I think, to get people to buy this book. But it was a 2-star for me. It was, I want to say it's like a friends to lovers romance book. And yeah, Keanu is involved. There's some like references to his movies and stuff, and I liked that aspect, but I didn't really care for the narration and the way the book was written. I'm pretty sure it's not the narrator's fault, but I mean, the way the book was written was so annoying. I didn't like it at all. The next one was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and this one was a 5-star. I love Colleen Hoover books. This was the more romance one that I've read because, I mean, all of them are romance, but Verity and Layla that I've read, those are more of a, I guess, a romance and a thriller, whereas this one was more romance, but it had a lot of, like, crazy shit going down in it. I really enjoyed it. It kind of goes back and forth with the main character. She meets somebody in the present, and then it kind of goes back to like her first love relationship that she reads through her like diary, and it kind of goes back and forth to this guy that she's dating, to her first love, and why she is the way she is and everything. And so I think my dog wants in. So it was a really great, intense story. Jack's wanted back in the house. He's been wanting to hang out lately out there because of the sun is out. It's not as cold today. It's been pretty cold the last couple days. He's just been getting a suntan out there. I actually read the last few pages of this last book I'm going to talk about out there, actually. This book I started reading physically. This was the only physical read. I started reading this in August now, I think. And I finally finished it. It just took a long time. It's almost 500 pages. And it's called Shorefall. It's by Robert Jackson Bennett. And it's the sequel to Foundry Side. It's like called the Founders Trilogy, I guess. So there's Foundry Side and then there's Shorefall. Shorefall I gave 4.5. I loved it. I feel like that 0.5 I took off because it didn't have like the magic love that I had for the first book, which, I mean, it's a continuation of the story. It's still awesome. It's just that, I don't know, Foundry Side, nothing can like beat that. It was so good. And then Shorefall was really good continuation and left it on a cliffhanger. And I can't wait for the third one comes out next year. I don't remember when, but it's called Locklands, I think. And, oh, it's not playtime. Jaxie. He wants to play. And it's, if you didn't know what Foundry Side was about, it's kind of reminds me of a, it kind of reminds me of like, in a way, it's like a steampunk thing, but it's like, where it's like an older, they don't really have, it's not like a modern thing, kind of seems like it's, I mean, they have carriages and they don't have actual cars. It's like one of those types of worlds. I don't know, not medieval, but they don't really have anything, but they have these thing called scribings, and you could scribe, some people can do it and some people can't, and you could scribe something to think it's doing something else. Like, I can scribe this TV stand and say that it is metal, and it'll think it's metal and be stronger than like what it actually is or something. So there's like a lot of things going on, and the main character, she has like a plate in her head where she can actually like communicate with these scribings, and it takes you on this whole adventure though, because she is like a she goes on heists. That was what she did for her job, was just go on these heists for this guy and run these jobs to make money, and she starving herself, basically barely make enough, and but then she finds something and everyone's trying to find it and out to get her, and it takes off from there. And the second one was really good, so I can't really explain too much, just a continuation of the first one. There was a lot of things that I wasn't really expecting. I think I had a pretty good couple reading months, you know, especially with having audiobooks. But my next read, I started reading it a little bit on my app, on the Kindle app on my phone, but I hate reading on my phone. So now I'm charging my Kindle now, and I only read a few, like 5 pages probably from it like 3 weeks ago. It's the plot. I forgot what the author's name was, but it's about this man who is a professor at a college, and he didn't really get a big break with his writing. He wanted to be an author, and he helps students with like creative writing type classes, but and he just hates doing it, and he kind of just like not really motivated with anything. And but one student, I guess, comes up with haven't gotten to this part yet, comes up with a brilliant story idea, and I guess in a few years later he passes away, and the professor's like, wait, he had this great book idea, looks it up, the guy did not publish it, so he tries to use it as his own idea. So it's a thriller, so I'm wondering what's going to happen in that. So I'm very excited to continue reading with the Kindle. Yeah, let me know if you've read any of these, listened to them, if maybe one book was probably better as physical read than an audiobook, or vice versa. Let me know, and yeah, write down below if you watch this what you've been reading lately and what's been your favorite book of the year and all that. So thank you for watching. Bye.